Hi everyone, I'm here with you today to teach you how to hit a forehand. It's not like that. So forehand is an opportunity to control the point. That's why you want to have a bigger forehand than backhand. And I'm excited to teach you this because this stroke is really going to change your game. So if you like this channel, please press like. And also if you want to have more content like this, you should just go ahead and hit notifications so you'll know when I'm teaching tennis and all the other things that we do on this channel. So go ahead and hit that notification and also hit subscribe. So here we are with the forehand. And what's most important about a forehand is that you want it to be your biggest shot. Why? Because we can actually get more power off of this wing on the forehand, and also you just can control the point more. You have more reach on the forehand than across the body with a backhand. So you're gonna have a lot more opportunities with that. That's why we want to develop the biggest forehand possible. So the first thing that we want to do on the forehand is go ahead and get into an athletic position, of course. These are the basics. So we're gonna get into that athletic position. Yay! And then what we're gonna do from there is that we're gonna turn our shoulders. So why? Because you gotta prepare to hit the ball, duh. So we're gonna turn our shoulders, and we're gonna turn as a unit. Both shoulders turn, not one shoulder, both shoulders. Turn as a unit. Now you notice also that my feet are pivoting, but especially if you're at a beginner level, you're gonna wanna turn your shoulders and make sure they both go together. So what some people will do is they'll just turn like this. Do you see how weird that looks? Don't be weird. Turn both shoulders. And this gives us the opportunity to also be able to explode into the ball later on when we start to hit the shot. So we're gonna turn those shoulders for a beginner. And then this gives us two options from here. There's two ways to go. For us beginners, we're gonna go ahead and step, and it's called a closed stance. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna end up stepping, and then we're gonna finish like so. I'm gonna show you what happens in between, but I wanna show you how that stroke finishes. And then for us advanced people, we're gonna use a closed stance sometimes. We're also gonna use the open stance too. So when we're gonna pivot to turn, and then what happens is we keep the stance open as we hit. So that stance stays open. When, you might say, do we use the open stance and the closed stance? Different ways, different reasons. So we're gonna use this closed stance when we're moving forward and being aggressive. So when we're moving into a shot, you can also use an open stance to move into a shot also. And when we just wanna use our body weight to step into it and get extra behind it. And also we can use this stance, like let's say you're a person who pops up a lot. If you're using your stance, you're gonna be able to stay level. We'll talk about staying level too. You're also gonna use that open stance when you're moving. So if you're running to the ball, you're gonna use that open stance so you don't take an extra step. And I'll show you why. So if you're running to the ball, you're able to hit this open stance to recover. If you're using a closed stance, you're gonna take one extra step this way to recover. So we don't wanna give up any room in the court. So that's why we'll use an open stance when we're on the move. Not always, but kind of 90% of the time, I do at least. That's what my dad taught me. Another most important thing is you're gonna stay level. So think wherever you start, you wanna finish. So hopefully you're using your legs, because we started in that athletic position, right? So we're staying level in that position. Our head should not move. It should stay level. What happens when you're not staying level and you're doing the matrix or something? Your ball's gonna do the matrix too. So if you're hitting and coming up, guess what ball's gonna do? It's gonna come up. So make sure you're level throughout the shot. And no matter how you're hitting the shot, stay level. Even if you're like jumping into the shot, stay level. You don't wanna be jumping and moving and opening and moving your head. No matrix. So what do we have? We have our turn, we have our open or a closed stance. For the purposes of this video, we're gonna stick with a closed stance. And we have our closed stance, we're level. Now we're gonna start to take our swing. So how I teach a forehand is that C's get degrees. So the motion is just like a C, very circular. So we've got our racket back, we've got our motion going, and when we start to step, we turn and we start to step with the ball as we're going into our motion, the most important thing is that we want to make sure we've stepped before we hit the ball, okay? So that's going to take some practice, especially if you're a beginner, kind of timing that moment. But you want to make sure you're fully stepped before you hit the ball. Why? Because you got to be balanced. So if you're moving while you hit the ball, you won't be able to control it. Yes, as you get more advanced, there'll be moments where you can't control it and you can't do all this stuff. You know, sometimes you're just in the situation that you're in. But in a perfect world, you're controlling it. That's why when we play tennis, we want to move our opponents and get them out of position, so that way they're off balance. When you have your feet under you, that's when things are dangerous. When your feet are not under and you're moving, that's when you can't hit the ball as well. So that's why we want to make sure we're here. Now, also our contact point is important too. The contact point is in front. When it's in front, we're able to attack. If your contact point is here, you're going to miss the ball, you're not going to be able to control it, and it's going to spray. And it will usually spray out this way. It's not going to go cross court, it's going to spray wide into the alleys. So if your ball is spraying wide a lot, you know it's because you're hitting it, behind you or, at your waist. Where does your arm want to be? You want your arm to be as straight as possible in the contact point and in front of you. And you also want to be hitting under the ball as well. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a ball so that way you can see what that contact point looks like. So what's that contact point? It's right under here. And the reason we want that is because it's going to have us have spin. And also that's why our arm is straight and also out in front, so that way we can control it with spin and use our hand to guide the ball. And when we hit under it, we're also going to get those rotations. So when you hit under the ball is going to start to rotate like this. And when it rotates like this, it's also going to go down, okay? Now, if you hit it just straight out in front right here, the ball is going to be flat. There will be no rotation. The ball will travel through the air like this, and it'll just be a projectile. You could stop it any time or not. So hit under it for spin and control. Very important. So the finish. What's important on the finish? So we've gotten to here, we got our contact point below, the arm is straight, and also, how far away should your arm be from you? So what's important is that you use your left arm, and that left arm is a guide. Let me put this ball away. So what's important is you use your left arm as a guide to help you in the beginning, to know how far away your arm should be from you. So use this arm as a guide, the racket should be outside of there. Sometimes it gets a little close, we don't want the ball close. Sometimes that's going to happen. And when the ball gets too close to you, you're not going to be able to hit it here in front. You're just going to have to improvise and hit it a little bit wherever you are. But ideally, you have enough time and space to be hitting it out here every time. Okay? So there we are. And you're going to also use your left arm. So you want to keep your left arm closed. You do not want the left arm down. You do not want the left arm to open up as you hit. Do you see how that doesn't even look right? And when you open up as it hits, the ball's going to spray. Just like your arm spraying, ball will spray too. So you're going to keep that arm closed. That contact point is there. Now what happens on the finish? So the finish just needs to be long. So you're going to have a long finish, and then you can come around. So that's kind of the new finish for today. The old school finish in the 70s was really straight. But now what's more important is that you actually do finish the stroke, and then you can go ahead and come around. You don't have to catch the racket. I happen to catch my racket, and there you go. That's the end of the forehand. Now let's talk about direction. If you want to change the direction of the ball, you're going to have your arm going there. So if the ball is going down the line, your hand is straight. If your ball's going cross court, your hand is going to go more across the court. So just have your hand go exactly where you'd like your ball to go. And then also at the same time, when you're hitting the ball, you're hitting under the ball, but you're going to be hitting in different areas. So if you're going cross court, you hit under over here. If you're going down the line, same. So super, super easy. Just have your hand go there and you'll get it with practice. Okay, so we got all the steps to the forehand. Now it's just time to hit a few balls. So, wasn't too hard, was it? I hope you had fun learning this. And most importantly, you're gonna be able to have a big forehand when you have great techniques. So practice, remember that makes perfect. And also it's a lot of fun when you have a big shot and you can push your forehand and your opponent to the limit. Love that. So if you like this video, please thumbs up, like us, hit subscribe to notifications, do all that stuff. And guess what? We're gonna do more of this stuff. I'm so excited. I'll see you soon.